Siler really is able to control the game from that carry position. They take that out of his hand.
Okay, draft is underway for game number 1, as you can see on your screen, between Effect and VGJ Thunder. If you're just joining us, this is the Dota 2 Asia Championships day number 1. 8 best of ones ahead of us, and the first pick of the day is a Nature's Prophet from Effect.
Is that position 5 Nature's Prophet?
It's
Winter.
It might be just
Yes or no? Just yes, simple yes or no.
What? It might be. Why not? It could be the Sand King and Prophet in one lane, on the off lane.
That's true.
I'm going to go with no.
You're going to go with
I'm
no?
going to go with no as well.
I mean, the Nature's Prophet is seen as a lane counter to the Razor. You can really bully him. You can obviously stop him from just running you down with Link. Just in general, Nature's Prophet has some like Chen-like impacts at times because he's such a strong lane bully. Like he doesn't even need like a creep. He just comes in with tree ants, and a lot of heroes can't fight him. And he adds the element of global mobility and better scaling. So that's we've seen the hero used in that role.
Yeah. So I suppose Witch Doctor should be a good pickup for VGJ Thunder against Nature's Prophet, even if his position 5, 4, 3, whatever. always. I mean, Witch Doctor is one of the better supports right now. Doesn't need that much items, even if you just get the Nern. You're good to go throughout the pretty much whole game. Maledict is such a strong spell, especially against the offlaner. You can zone out pretty much everyone in if he's alone.
Yeah, there's also the Disruptor that we've seen them play so much, but it is the Omni.
Razor Omni, like the classic opening. Like I think it got popularized by Nubia at first, quite a while back, because Omni doesn't want to lane against Razor, so you just pick both of them on the same team.
Yeah, we see that quite often. Picking one hero, then picking a hero that counters him, so they can't get it instead of banning it.
Do you expect to see Thunder remove the better Omni version in the bans?
Rubik?
Yeah.
I mean Rubik. It depends. I mean, so this fits kind of Thunder's like comfort playstyle. Yang's on a frontliner. He's on these kind of Tides, Underlords, and Omni Knights, and you know you can go around and take towers with him. Sylar as well on more of a fighting carry. So this is most likely going to be a Sylar Razor, I believe. So this fits their kind of signature style. With the 5 pool, it was being targeted before by teams a little bit more. So you'd see like Disruptor or something being taken first phase, but they don't feel that being the case here. Look at if you see the bans coming out. For a 4 playmaker, I would not be surprised if he still bans something like an Earth Spirit. Take that out of Fate's hands. He's a very accomplished.
There's Elder Titan too.
Yes, ET's in there too, isn't it?
Yeah, ET for me is like one of like my personal favorites position for heroes right now. I think the hero does a lot. He sets up a lot for your team and has that Roshan control. And I mean the aura is just almost everything about the hero. The aura is just so good, and the talents that he has. They ban out the Earth Spirit, so like you said, I think one of his favorite heroes. He's been playing Earth Spirit a lot. Tusk, Earth Spirit, all these kind of roaming heroes that can set up kills early.
And there's, I almost thought it was the other team that banned that against, but that's seen as one of the lane counters against Omni Knight as well. Even with the +1, you can really put a lot of pressure on the Omni Knight. VGJ Thunder themselves would run this quite often against Omni, as we've seen in previous tournaments. So kind of protecting that pick a little bit. That said, though, there are a lot of like people had to deal with Omni as like the main poison for a long time. There's like a lot of different ways, right? Like you either counter him in lane or maybe you make the game really hard for him. So we've seen anything from like even these like Vipers and
Monkey
Morphlings
King
and such.
Monkey King, Lone Druid. I think those are pretty good matchups if you specify just the lane.
Yeah.
But it depends on your draft as well. Which one fits? Which kind of hero fits your lineup more?
Yeah, but the problem is that most of the teams do dual lanes now, so if you pair it up, let's say Omni with a Sand King, Jakiro, pretty much whatever, you have a strong lane. And
then it's just like whatever. You're going to have to go into a situation where you're like, okay, you're going to have this strong dual lane against my safe lane, and I'm also going to just do my own aggressive dual lane against your safe lane, and we'll see which carry is going to get the worst end of it.
Indeed.
I think one of the mistakes that teams often make is like they see this pressure lane and they try to deal with the pressure lane with 3 heroes, and you move your position 4 hero down to the safe lane, and sometimes the 2 heroes can actually hold the lane pretty good against the 3. When you have 3 in one lane and you're not getting kills, it's really bad for you. So that's the tricky part about making that decision.
Okay, Gyro banned out by Effect. So they've taken their sights off the supports, which is interesting.
Yeah,
in terms of bans.
So Morph ban. I think we're going to see a lot of Morphling either banned or picked this tournament. This hero is not yet explored Like this
I
hero.
mean, he has been explored a little.
EG's
like-
been exploring
Yeah.
him
I
a
was going
lot.
to say, Arteezy's been playing some really good morph.
I think the hero is like you mentioned, like he's pretty good with the recent change to his ultimate.
Yeah.
But I still think that the hero has a lot of like innate weaknesses. You don't want to pick the morphing up early because morphing is weak in the lane and he can be easily countered by a lot of heroes. And there we go. We see the Bane. Bane is
Yep.
generally picked up against like the Omni because you want to have a disable that goes through the magic immunity. So one of the very common pickups you see against Omni.
Yeah, there's that Witch Doctor against Nature's Prophet, since they saw Bane and Sanking, which means probably Nature's Prophet is going to be the offlaner. They might still swap a Sanking, but it's still a good pick just to have a Witch Doctor.
I mean, right now you are just thinking about who do you give farm priority? Do you put the Prophet on the support and you give the Sanking an earlier blink? Which one helps the team more? I think like Prophet on either position, he still gives you that pressure, like Jack mentioned earlier, like the lane pressure, taking towers, and once you run over the lane, you can just go for an easy Roche with an early medallion.
TB for effect.
Ooh, that's interesting. So Thunder is a Tinker team. There's a couple options that they could try to run into this as well. I think they might have to work. I mean, with effect supports, like there is some lane bullying, but you can make a lot of plays as well. So they have to be careful about that.
You see, they put Cider on the Razor and put Freeze on the Tinker?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a likely possibility. I don't know if they don't take it now, then it might likely still be banned.
Yeah,
But they can't really
the
protect
thing
it.
is like there's not many heroes that deal really well with Terrorblade, and Terrorblade is like he's the ultimate carry. You need to pick a different hero. Like certain teams like to go for maybe a Timbers or a Zeus, but those heroes are not like good heroes in
Tim's
the
been
meta.
okay against
Yeah,
TB.
I like Pagna. Pagna against him.
Pagna is not bad.
Terrorblade.
High magic burst heroes that can deal with him.
Yeah.
Generally, those are the options that teams go for. Storm Spirit.
Okay.
This is more like a whole package thing because it's pretty good also against the Prophet, and he kind of is playing against a lineup which so far has only like one reliable disable against him, like the Sanking stun. Like Bane generally, it's not going to be so easy for Bane to get the Storm Spirit.
The other thing with Terrorblade, it depends by team, but the philosophy is of picking very mobile heroes against it. Obviously, you don't want to take usually full frontal fights against Terrorblade where you have to win. But when you pick something like a Storm or someone who gets that backline, you can often force him to meta or force the fight to start before he wants it to, or kind of stop pushes that way. And so that could become a situation where Effect wants to take these frontal engagements and Thunder just find ways to delay that.
Yeah, they should probably ban out something with control, silence. Puck is the first one that comes to my mind. Not
DK. I mean
DK as well. I mean, it's
Storm.
not insta stun.
Yeah, but generally,
Still good.
those are the kind of heroes
Yep.
like you want to remove away. And
Then Effect needs a hero that comes online pretty quickly, so Terrorblade will have enough time to actually farm. This is going to be pretty much a disastrous game for Nature's Prophet, considering the heroes that they have already.
I mean, I still think he can actually have a good laning phase because Prophet with Sanking or with Bane, I think the lane is going to still be very annoying for the enemy to deal with.
And there's the Puck ban.
Conquer. It's a
Okay.
pretty good hero for team fight, but I'm not sure if they have enough answers to this TB later into the game.
Yeah, but they lack control so far on Effect's team. Sanking's one of the better position for whatever you want to call him. 3 controlling a hero with reliable stun, but they need something to control the Storm Spirit, which is going to be the last hero. Dragonite might not be a bad idea. Maybe even Queen of Pain. Really mobile. They don't have too much catch besides X Mark for Queen of Pain as well.
Yeah, then you just need to build a use to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally I think you want to have like a hero with more of like a disable against the Storm.
Yeah, they lack burst as well on side of Effect, so again, Queen of Pain.
How about Invoker? Would it be too greedy? Like Invoker would give them like Sunstrike for the Bane, Sand King, and Prophet. They have this kind of like a global presence with Prophet and Sunstrike, but might be really greedy because Invoker is kind of like a position 1 hero like TB. But if you can do well in the lanes, I can see those kind of drafts working. So Tiny, Tiny mid.
So that's the burst damage that they needed. They only need Item and Tiny. Probably gonna be Shadow Blade to cut into backlines, try to get the hands on Omni Knight, maybe even blow up
Even a dagger,
Storm Spirit.
like early dagger would be good too this game, because he doesn't really need to be that carry Tiny, because he has Terror Blade and Prophet. Both heroes scale really well. You can play more like a utility Tiny this game.
Fighting pressure towers, Rezo, you get that farm. Rezo, come in later and
Yeah.
carry us.
All right, let's go down the line for predictions. Jack.
I'm gonna go with Thunder. I know it's a real shock to the world, but no,
Wait, let me just check Wikipedia. What's that? Jack actually manages for VGJ Storm. Oh, okay, yeah.
but I think Effect has more to prove. You know, like show us that this team can play well at this level against these teams, and you know, we can revisit that.
Okay, Winter.
Just based on lineup, not based on which team is better. I like Effect's lineup more.
Okay.
I prefer VGJ Thunder's lineup, and overall they are a better team, so I'll go with VGJ.
Okay. See, you two could get together. He's just,
Yeah,
he's just
Jack
playing
is
the
my old
protagonist
friend.
in the middle right now. He's just, I don't know. Lacoste versus Winter version 2 will be coming up after this game. For now, though, we're heading over to two other battle-hardened warriors. It's Cap and Blitz with game number 1.
Thank you, Paul. That's right. Welcome to DAC. You're starting off with Effect, facing up. You've got your boy here, Resolution, in Effect. Are you pretty excited, Blitz?
I don't know if Effect Resolution is my boy.
Well, he still has to tag OG Resolution in the lobby, so maybe that'll make you feel a little bit better about it.
I mean, I like OG.
All right, well, what do you think about this matchup against VGJ Thunder?
So Thunder decided to take Storm.
Yeah.
I can't tell you why they decided to do that.
Pretty bad hero right now, sure.
I don't know if it's like the worst here or anything like that.
I mean, the last time we saw a run of Storm Spirit was, what, Katowice? Genting, maybe? I think it was Genting. And those were not very successful Storm Spirits, even in games where there was literally, like, no catch whatsoever.
Yeah, I think the only team that made it work was Secret that I've seen. And they won, like, one game with it. And other than that, it's been very meh. But I don't know how to feel about this. Like, on one hand, Freeze is playing Storm, and I like that hero. They got crushed, though, with this hero. Do you remember that?
Yes,
They
yes, I
played
do.
this in the finals against EG's lineup, right?
Yep, and this is the thing, right, is that VGJ, this is kind of their wheelhouse. When they run these, like, harder carries for Freeze, they run these heroes like Storm Spirit for him, and I thought they decided once upon a time that that was no longer how they wanted to run in the meta. They actually changed their playstyle.
So what EG did well to beat VGJ, and like what they exploited, is they made the laning phase like very awkward for VGJ, and they just pulled heroes away from the safe lane so that nobody could help Sylar. Like that's what they did very successfully. The downside though of like heroes like Storm and stuff, as we saw at a lot of these tournaments, is if you just deathball, you don't need stuns. Like you don't have to kill him. You can just run through this hero because this hero needs like quite a lot of items.
Yeah.
Like
If he can't actually jump and kill anything, then what are you doing with your life?
Like we saw that multiple times. Like, nowadays, like no stun lineups are still okay against Storm because the item run up takes so long.
And it's not like we're totally non-existent in stuns. Effect do have Tiny, Bane, as well as Sand King. All pretty good control heroes against the Storm Spirit. Maybe once he gets Linken's, he'll feel a lot better about the game. But it does seem like a lineup that Effect are pretty well suited against this Storm.
Yeah. Sorry we keep talking about Storm.
Bottom lane, Resolution is going to get gone on. He is currently facing a difficult aggro tri-lane from VGJ Thunder. They're running a Sylar Razor behind Fade's Kunkka and DDC's Witch Doctor. Resolution is going to feel pretty well threatened, but he does have Main running this Furion, as well as King R on the Bane.
Yeah, the support Nature's Prophet is always very interesting because of what it can do. I think the last time I seen it was King RD was running it. I think I'm okay with it. I feel like the downside of it is sometimes you get abused because your 4 position that doesn't really come with a stun, right?
Yeah.
But the harass potential is really neat with the treants.
Oh, Miss Torrent. If that had actually landed, especially with Sylar committing to that static link, maybe they could have actually gotten some good damage on him. But
you notice Rezo, he's trying to ignore all of this.
Yeah.
It's like, I am not a part of this. Just ignore me. I'm going to hit some creeps.
It does seem like it's been, I've seen this many times before, teams trying to pressure a Terrorblade in laning phase, and it doesn't really seem to work out that well because the hero just has such high base armor that he's not really threatened by any harassment.
I mean, he's getting bodied right now. Doesn't have too much CS, although
Yeah.
now that the creep wave comes in.
He's catching up. He's currently 6-2.
Just missed the CS, everyone flame. Alright, this mid lane though, how's it go? Afo's got an Invis rune. He has a level of toss. Okay, he broke it instantly.
I was going to ask you what this matchup, but I know you haven't been playing any Storms here. Tiny certainly changed.
Yeah, Tiny, I think Tiny does fine in it. I'm sure the thing about Storm is like he's fine against all the melee laners. Like he trades out pretty well and farm against pretty much everyone. So I'm sure it's fine. Like I can't imagine a world in which just like the Storm gets dominated or anything like that.
Yeah. It does seem like it's pretty even so far when it comes to CS. Of course, we got to give a quick mention up to this top lane where Yang is playing the Omni Knight against Afterlife's Sand King. So
yeah, I have to imagine this is maybe like slightly SK favored.
Yeah.
Because you have Caustic.
Yeah, Caustic is so strong. They're going to go on bottom lane, pop the Metamorphosis, trying to go for Sylar, but brought back by the X. They will be able to protect their Razor.
Always a sad day when you pop meta and you don't get anything out of it.
Yeah, just means you're going to be pressured real hard once it's down, right?
Yeah. You get to farm a little.
Damn, look at Yang go. Oh my god, he actually just killed Afterlife. Afterlife did not use Burrow Strike. He had it the entire time.
Huh.
All right, well.
That is massive, too.
That is huge. Your
Solo
1v1
kill?
is now won. VGJ Thunder, even if their aggro tri-lane doesn't work, they're going to be happy about the 1v1 they just set up.
Yeah, and this should be a pretty evenish matchup, I think. Like, I can't imagine a world in... if you just get enough regen on the side of Afterlife, it should be okay.
Yeah.
But Omni is one of the more like abusive one-on-one laners. Interesting enough, too, Freeze has 2 mangoes, too. One seems to be on the mango train lately. Yang gonna take some damage. Has a bottle.
I think I saw that from another pretty intelligence. Oh, is it OD? Bottom lane, they are going to go on the Furion here, catching him out, paralyzing Cast Sylar, making sure they does go down. They're going to try and get a counter kill, though, on DDC. King R is able to pick up that one and goes for the TP out. There's no Torrent or X to be able to stop that. So a 1-for-1 trade-off in the bottom lane.
Yeah, still very slight favor for VGJ Thunder in this bottom lane, as they're going to collect the experience. This mid lane, things are pretty even overall. Expected. Storm has the ability to remnant every creep, whereas Tiny has such a high, like a silly amount of base damage.
Yeah.
He's going to pick up most of the CS to begin with.
Afterlife in some trouble again, taking so much damage. Now he does have a bottle, and the 5-minute shrine is about to be unlocked as well, so you could play around that, but Yang is definitely punishing Afterlife, not just in this 1v1, but for the earlier mistake that he made in that 1v1, giving up the first blood like that.
Yeah, the solo kill is pretty massive. Like, if you look at the net worth, he's got like 400 more, even though they've got pretty equivalent CS.
Yeah.
And they need him to do well, considering their bottom lane is getting pressured. This is the problem, though. Like, anytime Afterlife steps up for CS, Yang just does the nuke bomb.
Yeah.
Hurts him quite a bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, once I think you get level 5 for the Omni Knight, that nuke just becomes so overwhelmingly powerful that I think the laning phase starts going to the favor of him pretty heavily.
Yeah.
So maybe Effect needs to switch things up.
I mean, this Tiny is going to get pretty fat, though. And at some point, like, Afo's just going to run around trying to get kills.
Yeah. That's what a lot of Effect is going to be doing, right? So the same with their Sand King.
Yeah.
They're just going to be, as a 4-man, trying to create a lot of space for Resolution, which is where Resolution shine. We saw that at TI when he was standing in for Empire.
Yeah. The thing about Rezo is, like, you have to play around him.
Yeah.
This is not like a guy that you passively allow to just, like, get ganked or anything like that.
Oh, Maiden's actually going to go for the TP in here as Furion trying to cut someone off, trying to go for Fade. The rest of his team is going to easily pick up the DDC kill. Maiden, though, was not able to because he doesn't actually have a level of Sprout just yet. He couldn't actually slow down Fade, see if they can get that extra kill. Treant body blocking pretty well here on Sylar so far, but he does manage to snag himself around those Treants and get away from the body block.
Yeah, no real stun means that and there's not a whole lot that's going to happen there.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine that the Storm just like keeps the TP, maybe makes a rotation of his own eventually.
Again, the sleep, stopping a good static link from Sylar.
We're going to see which core rotates first in this game. Yang continues to dominate that top lane.
For any of you guys who are maybe a little bit newer to Dota or don't watch a whole lot of the Tier 2 scene, you're probably wondering who Effect is. They're a CIS team where, basically, if you look at these names, they are kind of, I'm not going to say the rejects, but all of these guys have been through, like, probably at least 8 teams over the course of the maybe 5-6 years. A lot of these guys have been around for a while, like Afterlife, like King R. In fact, I think they're the youngest guy on the team, Maiden. Even he's been around since 2014.
Yeah. Afo is a name, though, that has been around. I think he was, like, on the old Hellraisers?
He was on Hellraisers, and then he was on Power Rangers.
I thought he was really good
Yes.
on Hellraisers, as King R going to get gone on.
He's going to get caught by the torrent. Good combination here from VGJ, ensuring the kill on the back line of the supports. Resolution going to try and come in. Actually, Afo Ninja is going to be able to come in and actually case DDC.
Oh, nice stun.
And manage to get the stun onto Sylar. So maybe they can get this kill as well. They absolutely should with the reflection, slowing him down. What a great rotation from their Tiny. They're going to give it to Resolution. This is what you talk about when you say you put a team around a player like that, setting him up and giving him free kills like that. Absolutely what Resolution enjoys most.
Yeah, Rezo's like a weird player in that you have to specifically do things like around him a little bit. He's a player that, like, he's a space eater.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, which is, I mean, he's very good at what he does, but you have to give him a lot of those kills. You have to ensure his game, and it seems as though they're doing that at the very least.
I mean, after all, the blueprint has already been laid out, right? By Empire and their successful TI run through. It's like, if that guy can do that on the biggest stage in the world, then why can't they do it here at the Chinese International?
Yeah, I think they're trying to mimic that a little bit. I like that Afo Ninja's going for a lot of these rotations early on. He's going to pick up a Shadow Blade at a reasonable time. Like, if you notice, though, Freeze has just been farming, but he doesn't really have, like, the best impact yet. Like, he's going to go for the TP here. This is what we expect.
Well, the surprising part is that he's still lower in CS than the Tiny. Resolution not going to be caught by Fade.
And he doesn't have pull either, and even if you just kill the Nature's Prophet here, you probably don't feel too good about that. You see that the ward spots him the entire way through. Once he goes on the low ground, he's looking for something, and this should kind of tell Effect that they should hide behind their tower, be patient. Like, the Tiny's getting farmed, the Bane's getting free XP mid. Like, they've got 2 areas on the map right now where everything's free. That's why Freeze is going to show on the map. I think he understands that something is up. Like, Rezo just didn't show for a full minute. Probably tells you something.
Yeah, and Sylar shows up in the mid lane as well, so.
Yeah, and you see, like, the ward priority, too, on both teams is the same. It's like there's one mid, one at bottom for each side, because they're trying to get aggressive on those parts of the map.
Ooh, see if they can actually get the kill on Sylar here. It's going to be a little tough, actually, the toss back into the tower. That'll make it a lot easier. They just lay into him with a tree toss. Afo Ninja is able to complete that kill.
Oh, nice.
Really cool setup so far by Effect. Looking good here against VGJ Thunder. Of course, both these teams have actually had a pretty rough go of it recently. Effect, about a month and a half ago, went a nice little run, secured them both the ESL1 Katowice qualifier as well as this DAC qualifier. But since then, have been struggling in the qualifier since, and also did not have a strong placing at Katowice.
Yeah. Here, ILTW just, like, bailed on them. He's like, I'm not coming here. I was like, all right. Win WSG, get some options. But luckily they were fine. They were fine. They found a stand-in. It all works out as they're going to make a rotation onto Freeze. King Art is level 6. Probably get a ward down here too if you can help it.
This
Smoke's
would be
gonna break.
sick with the Fiend's Grip. There is nobody around to be able to stop this one either. What a great pickoff. Great read there from Effect.
Really nice read. They should know about the ward though.
Yeah.
Yang's going to come in. Like, this is going to create space for top. Once again, Sylar.
Oh, but Yang, he's going to toss him into the Ancients, gets snagged up, takes a lot of damage in the process. All right, well, that's just more space for Resolution to keep hitting this tower.
If you're a support player, like, that's your least favorite creep.
Yeah.
You walk by those when you're trying to stack and you just get killed.
Yeah. Those creeps are dangerous.
The tower's going to go down. It's like, Sylar, I feel like when this guy gets sacked, the game just becomes so weird for Vici. This is not the player that you want to sack. Sylar has been really consistent. They've been trying to secure like Yang's laning phase a lot more lately, but Sylar doesn't feel like comeback sort of presence. And they've done a good job of shutting him out too. Like 2 deaths already. Now you've got a Shadow Blade. He can rotate up to top on this Tiny, get a kill for free.
Yeah.
Like, this is how you get the momentum going because this Razor needs to snowball.
Absolutely. I feel like Sylar was looking best in VGJ's recent form when he was sort of playing that Eternal Envy role where he was enabled at the start of the laning phase and then he just ran around and just created space and made things happen.
Yeah. You see that he places his own ward as this Tiny's going to come up.
Heavy rotation coming in for VGJ Thunder. And if they can get this, it would be huge. If they could actually pick up a kill on the Tiny or the Sand King.
Yeah, they're trying to bait him right now. They should know about this.
The Shadow Blade.
DDC.
Might actually spot DDC. Yeah, he's going to go for the kill on DDC, but surprise, there's going to be all these members from VGJ Thunder not going to go for the kill on Alpha Ninja Day. They're actually going to go for Afterlife instead, thinking that maybe the Sand King is more important, but he's already picked up his Blink Daggers, so not a whole lot is lost there. They get the gold for the kill, but don't deny anything away from the Sand King. Their timing on that just being, I guess, a bit off.
Yeah, they're trying to utilize their Omni Knight because he's their most farmed hero. And I like that Yang is trying to utilize his net worth. Has a good understanding that his team can't just play passive in a game like this because the Terrorblade is just going to get fat. But at the same time, like getting a kill on the Sand King, there was like a little bit of indecision there from Fade because he had the X option onto the Tiny.
Yes, he did.
And I think he would have been the better target to go for.
Agreed.
This is a fat Tiny. Second net worth overall in the game. Like you pick that up, you slow down his momentum, but instead, this Tiny just will hit this tower. They're going to rotate a lot of heroes to try to grab this tier 1, and as a result, you're going to open up some space for this Terrorblade. You see what they're doing, right? They're creating this like ring so that you have to deal with this area before you get to the Terrorblade. And even Rezo's going to come in. They should spot this, by the way. The ward is very nicely placed by Sylar, out of range of the sentry. I think Effect is aware that there is a ward there, but not willing to take the second sentry.
Resolution just going to play a little bit of neutrals, takes the last hit on the tower. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Like this is a good strategy overall by Effect. Like they're making sure that their newcomer is going to have like the freest time, be very comfortable. They're doing a very good job of that so far.
Okay, maybe we can bring the Storm Spirit online though. This is an arcane rune. Afo Ninja, he's going to spot this out, goes for the quick kill onto DC, actually picks up the courier, zip in from Freeze. They have already taken out the support, but now Freeze is here with the repel out, not taking a whole lot of damage from the magic. Afterlife wasn't able to do a whole lot with the epicenter, but a Fiend's Grip out from King R, locking down at least that Omni Knight. Maybe they can actually finish him off, but he managed to get off the heal just in time, runs himself away, reflection. Now Sylar coming in, trying to stop some of this damage, but Yang's going to be beat down by Afo Ninja. Freeze still trying to make this work with the Arcane Rune activated, managed to get the kill on the Furion, but that's only a support. Sylar, he's challenging Resolution to a duel right now with the static link, and that is going to be enough to force Effect back. They're going to try and chase down King R, which they should be able to do so. The rest of Effect actually coming back in, try and save this one. They might actually going to kill the Storm Spirit. What a torrent coming out from Fade though. Hits on 2. Sylar trying to finish off Ava Ninja, hides into the trees, is not going to be able to escape though. Resolution is the one to clean it all up. X marks the spot from Fade, is going to try and find the tilt, but Afterlife actually stops him. X marks the spot, managed to pull him away from that one, still underneath the tower, but Afterlife just can't get away from that illusion. Locked down by the paralyzing cast, he ends up falling, but again, Resolution does manage to get out of there. He is the recipient of all the gold and all the experience from that fight, while his 4 allies all ended up dying in the engagement.
Yeah, it was still an overall gold change in favor of VGJ Thunder.
Yeah.
But not being able to kill the TB is going to hurt quite a bit. They did manage to pick up the Tiny, which was huge, but Yang, with his prodigious net worth, not able to do too much as King R was right on top of him with the ult, waited for all the stuns to fly out first, had the full duration grip. You notice the teamfight targeting by Effect. They want to make sure that Yang is out of the way.
Right.
You almost always in Dota try to get rid of the healer first.
Especially with how long these team fights are clearly going to draw out. They got to make sure that that sustain from Omni Knight is not around.
Yeah, the majority of the burst is going to come in the form of the Tiny after that. There's going to be some sustained fights.
Yeah. And he almost has an Echo Saber complete. A little bit slowed down by that last fight, but will pick it up soon.
Just done a very good job so far in this game, this Tiny. Like, he set the pace really nicely for this team. 6-1-3, been involved in the majority of the kills.
I like the way he just keeps on making sure to use toss every single time to get a little bit more damage on these towers.
Yeah. And
Not quibbling about keeping his cooldowns or anything.
And Thunder's going to go for the defense on this because the majority of their wards are here. The X Torrents
Absolutely need to be able to take this engagement and see if they can pick off Afterlife. Lock down with the Torrent. That is going to be a big pickup to start this fight. Freeze is out of mana, though, so can't really pursue on these extra kills.
It's got a regen, though, and DDC did go down.
Oh, wow.
His
regen's going to add a lot. He's going to be able to find Afo Ninja.
Nice
Got him with the Torrent. Great setup on Fade. Afo Ninja, please tell me they have some counter vision. Oh no, just a Sentry. They need to be able to kill him before he gets outside the range, and they barely get it too. Whew, that was a close call for VGJ Thunder.
Look at where the rocks piled up, just outside the range of the Sentry.
Yeah.
Barely got the last hit off.
I'm not sure how that hit actually landed. I thought it was going to miss, but VGJ Thunder do manage to get a really good team fight for themselves and are beginning to settle that net worth lead that Effect had early on to the game.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Sylar doing a very good job, has caught up. Those 2 kills in that 1 engagement, very key for him. I think he got the last hit on the Tiny earlier, too.
Both of them came down to runes, funnily enough, right? We had an Arcane rune for the first big team fight. This one, a regen for Freeze. So the Storm Spirit may not be the most powerful core right now, but when you enable him a little bit with some rune luck, he's actually able to create the space for Sylar to come back into this game.
Right now, we have the Terrorblade just continuing to farm. I'd imagine, as weird as it sounds, like both teams are sort of okay with the pace.
Yeah.
The Terrorblade's getting farmed, but everyone from VGJ Thunder's catching up. Like, all 3 of their cores are more or less online.
Mm-hmm. You can see our Terrorblade up at 9K right now. Behind him is the Omni Knight and Razor.
They've got a pipe, though, on this Omni. They want to take a fight. The Sand King ulti is not going to do too much.
Yeah, that is a big team fighter that's going to be taken out of the pool, essentially. Easy pickup on main to start things off.
Maybe if they go for this mid tower, looks like they're forming up. If you have 4 heroes, you might as well go for it.
Is this a tower that Effect are willing to TP in to defend?
I think if they see the pipe, they should avoid the fights. Okay. They just don't. They simply just don't have the damage right now.
It does look like they're taking your advice right now. They're just continuing the push in top lane. Now, they're not actively... Okay, Afo Ninja is going to go for it now, but they're kind of hiding some of their heroes. They're not showing their full strength. I think they're hoping that somebody from VGJ Thunder is going to try and stop this tower from going down. And Fade is going to be the first one out. See if he can get some damage on the Afo Ninja. Now Freeze comes out. Already got the repel out, but the Fiend's Grip stopped him until that's canceled by the Paralyzing Cask. Afo Ninja caught out, is trying to get away with the Shadow Blade right now.
Nice
Oh, another Torrent landed by Fade. And an edge
DX.
just in time to be able to grab Maiden. No TP away today, sir.
What a torrent. Catches him invis. They didn't have any follow-up vision, so he just had to hit that. Sylar throws down the Plasma Field blind. They get the kill. That was huge for them. They don't lose the tower either, and they grab a mid tower of their own. That's would be quite.
And that's another
Quite the
player
move.
who I would say was not real happy with the laning phase. Fade, and similar to Sylar, I think the way they ran that aggro tri-lane did not really benefit Fade. He is a roamer at heart. That is where he shines most, and he's had a lot of great games on this Kunkka, but this kind of start was not fantastic for him, but he still managed to recover, and as you could see, all those recent Kunkka games of him are really paying off big.
Love that Yang got the repel off onto the Storm Spirit before he gets in.
Yeah.
Gets gripped, doesn't take any damage. This is the downside of when Effect, you're playing against an Omni Knight that was given a very free game. A lot of his early game rotations didn't pan out, but he just continued to farm. He's got the 90 GPM talent. He's going to be very effective in a game like this against a lot of the burst damage.
So you think like that was a big reason why they ran that aggro tri-lane, is that they wanted to get this Omni Knight so much farm that it would kind of stifle that 4-man team fighting style that Effect was looking for.
Yeah, and it helps that he was able to get the solo kill too.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest thing, is when you get a solo kill, solo lane on solo lane, that's so massive. And their bottom lane went okay. He's going to get the last hit on the tower. They're going to passively take the top tower though. That's going to open up further space into their jungle, which will allow this Terrorblade to just continue to farm some creeps. Resolution has largely avoided these engagements for his team.
So at what point are we done creating space for resolution and he then shows that he's worth all this net worth that he's accumulated?
I don't think he ever stops farming in a game like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're Terrorblade against a Razor. You should feel pretty good about that core matchup.
Yeah. So you think the pressure is on VGJ Thunder to start turning up a little bit, be more aggressive, take more control of the map?
Yeah, they have a lot of single target cores. And the mid game is still very scary for Effect to take.
Yeah.
The Kunkka boat is so good. The Omni ult is really nice. You want to get to a point as a Terrorblade that you're so farmed and you're so strong that it doesn't really matter that they have all these abilities. But he's definitely not at that pace yet.
Well, if they can get some sort of team fight, some sort of pick-off, anything, VGJ Thunder, they don't have the greatest Roche-taking team in the world, but they do have a great Aegis hero in the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, I would like them to just continue to play aggressive, because it's clear that Effect has changed their game plan.
Yeah.
In the early game, it was just this Tiny running around trying to get kills, create space. And so it should be your prerogative now to go around the map, try to get some kills, pressure all the tier 1 towers, and then go for something like the Roshan. Like, I'd be comfortable with a top tower push into the road. That would be a good move. And then from there on, you can grab the tier 2 towers and play very aggressively and start pressuring this Terrorblade.
Right.
Because you want to get rid of some of these tier 2s, you want to get the early Aegis onto the Storm.
In turn, though, Effect is trying to trade out, just like they traded tier 1 for a tier 2 at top lane. They are doing the same thing in reverse now, trying to take the tier 2 bottom.
Yeah, they're going to send Yang, who's the tankiest member of their group.
Least likely to get bursted down by the tiny Sand King.
And Freeze, he's got this Orchid. Rezo's probably not the person that he wants to go on. This really tanky Terrorblade, 2,000 health.
Yeah, and a Manta on him. Will be able to relieve that silence. So instead, he's going to wait for somebody else. Poke their head out.
He's just going to
Failing that, he'll just push out the creep wave some more.
I think he knows that they're only going to send Resolution up here. Because he didn't show at bottom.
Yeah.
If he doesn't show bottom or mid, then it's likely that he's either jungling in the area.
Even Resolution doesn't feel too comfortable farming that lane, so.
Yeah. Something interesting, by the way, or at least interesting to me, is that a lot of people are starting to opt to go for the 300 health talent.
On Storm? Yeah.
Yeah, and so really static. I think if you go this build where you forgo... Oh, the long zip in at bottom. Afterlife, he's going to get spotted.
Yule Scepter is going to be able to buy some time for Afterlife. Does have a Burrow Strike out, but it looks like he's going to be caught for a little bit too long as the Static Link will reveal his position in the trees. They get a pick off, go for a tier 2.
And Fade right now getting gone on, but we'll get out of this. I think when you go for the Bloodstone, you're really tanky. You got like 2,000 health, of course. But if you go for no Bloodstone, just go this like Kaya Orchid build. You have like 1,000 HP. You go down very easily. So grabbing the HP talent seems to be the talent of choice lately.
And do you think this item build is the correct one? I've seen a lot of Storm Spirits going for the Kaya first.
Yeah. Did I tell? Actually, I think I've told this story before. But I can't remember who I told. I said like, this is the build. It's a really good build. I was doing a lot. I felt like it was speeding up the pace of Storm's game. And some pro told me like I was garbage.
Is it Artur or Samel or something?
I think it was Artur.
Yeah.
And he said, you have to go Bloodstone first on this hero or it's worthless. And then like 8 games later, I see him doing it every game. What a life.
He just wanted to make sure you didn't keep spreading the gospel.
They're going to make this big smoke on a Sylar who's got a BKB, so the burst damage has to be there.
They need to be able to get up Burrow Strike and then follow it up with the stun of the Avalanche, and that is easily enough damage.
Yeah. They even save the Fiend's Grip as Yang going to run away, full retreat mode. Last hit is being given once again to Resolution. That time, definitely not on purpose.
Storm Spirit now trying to go for
Just going for the Roshan?
All right, cool.
Oh, man.
A pick off like that.
Storm zips in for King R.
Oh, but now he's going to be Burrow Strike up, and all that physical damage, dealing a lot. Guardian Angel out from Yang. Great reaction from him to be able to save the Storm Spirit in time.
That was... Freeze just went in there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I fear nothing, but you should fear this.
He should. Well, they can do the XTP back play.
If he didn't have the talent there, he would have died.
Yes.
So So that shows you the effectiveness of it already.
Can they actually get inside the pit? The Torrent's going to be able to slow him down. Nice two-man Burrow Strike once again with Reflection out. Resolution's going to challenge. It looks like they've already killed DDC, but Freeze is going to come forward with a Repel on him, trying to target that Terrorblade. Yang is stuck in the trees right now, but should be able to help. Get the kill with the Terrorblade. They got him. Afterlife managed to get a great Burrow Strike, but it wasn't enough to be able to slow down the damage. And now King R futilely holding down Freeze with the Fiend's Grip. Not going to change a whole lot, though. Freeze is still going to have the mana to be able to zip around and help get that kill. And all of a sudden, Roshan Pit is completely open unless Afterlife can make the big play here. Go for the epicenter, blink in. It's going to be near perfect timing, but not good enough. Not nearly enough damage to be able to threaten anybody from VGJ Thunder. My bad indeed, says King R. Afterlife feeds away yet another life. VGJ Thunder are going to be able to find another kill. It's going to be on Maiden. Fade finds this one pretty much solo, has it for staff, to be able to cut himself through the trees, stay on top of Maiden, and that, my friends,
Yang, go for the last hit.
Total wipe.
Do it!
Heal him! No.
You're a good guy.
I guess he's already got enough farm, right?
No, I would have done it if I was Yang.
Yeah, well, you're an asshole. Yang is not.
Yang.
Actually, I've heard that to the contrary, that Yang is not the friendliest pub player.
I think he's like a troll, though, is what I was told. Like he messes around. Messes around.
Who was telling me? I think it was GH. He was like, he seemed very mad. Ping, 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 ping. He's a ping spammer.
I never judge any person that plays a lot of solo queue.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us should, to be honest.
Nobody should. Okay, Freeze. Just going to zip out. Goes far. Now he's going to go back for the Bloodstone due to the pace of the game. And a second ago, before the Roshan, it was a 1,000 gold lead. Now it is 5.
Yep.
That is a dangerous-looking roller coaster.
Great opportunity for VGJ Thunder to continue to establish more dominance over this game. So what do? They've got an Aegis. They are getting close to a Bloodstone. What's the game plan here with the Storm Sphere?
I think you grab all the auto towers now.
Okay.
Because this Terrorblade is manageable at this point in the game. So you need to take advantage of the fact that he doesn't want to fight. I think that last fight proved, like, Rezo is strong, but Thunder, when he gets low like that, they do have enough lockdown to kill him.
So it's like...
Freeze was amazing in that fight. Did you see what he did? Yeah. He held onto the Orchid because he knew that Rezo would go for the Manta, and Rezo just held everything as a result. Like, he wasn't willing to cast anything. Freeze just waited, saved his pull so that he could get it off the last second with his Repel on. They immediately burst the Terrorblade at that point. Very well done.
Well, Resolution is trying to finish up that Scotty right now. Big boost in HP for Terrorblade. Make things a lot harder for VGJ Thunder.
And VGJ actually not going for any sort of push right now. They're being stymied by the fact that this top tower, the illusion's hitting it. You've got to deal with that.
Yeah, he just keeps on throwing more illusions out too.
That is good damage that he's getting.
Yeah, well, they found a pick off on King R, something small.
Yeah, but look at this tower right now.
Yeah, it's at half HP already.
Yeah, Rezo's pinging it. He's like, nobody's defending that. That took way more damage than it should have.
And they popped a glyph. Against a Terrorblade, Furion, your glyph being down, it's definitely a big liability.
Yeah. This is the benefit of having a support Nature's Prophet, is that even though you're support Nature's Prophet, you've got max Nature's Call, you're going to pressure the towers naturally.
Yeah.
Which makes this Aegis push slow down by quite a bit. As Sylar's trying to deal with this, like, they don't want to leave top,
But the downside of the support Furion, right, is that Effect's team fight looks even more garbage because of that.
Yeah.
So they are going to be entirely reliant on splitting VGJ Thunder apart, and failing that, delaying them.
Moon Meander used to always say on the old DC squad that Nature's Prophet, you never feel quite comfortable getting into a straight 5-on-5, because the nature of the hero is that you're trying to peel people apart. You're making sure, you're trying to get it so that you start the fight on uneven terms. Because the Nature's Prophet doesn't provide you that much team fighting ability, and so he needs to kind of get in there, create a situation where you get the 4v5 fight to begin with. Then when somebody comes in, hopefully you've already done enough damage in the team fight that you've gone far enough ahead. Like, this hero, even if you're quite a bit ahead, like, what is its toolkit? You Wrath of Nature Hope it hits like 9 people.
Sprout is just like a really bad disable. Oh my god, the man actually, no, he gets off the Sunder. Freeze is actually quite low on mana too,
Look
but he
at
does have an
DDC.
Aegis. Fiend's Grip managed to get away from that one. Maybe it wasn't Fiend's Grip at all.
What
Not
a
a two-man
boat.
stun though. With the boat coming in, they can actually maybe get this kill, at least on one. Support Resolution, he's actually trying to live through all this one, but the news come through. Oh my god, he actually managed to get a first step away in Afterlife. What a big epicenter, slowing down all these heroes. Freeze is desperate for this kill. He's jumping all around, but has failed to find Resolution. So even if they do get those 2 kills, the true bounty, which was that Terrorblade, was not to be found.
Oh my lord. Did you see King R?
I did.
He slept him at the boat impact to save his life right there.
Beautiful.
That was so well done by King R. It might not matter though. They're going to march down. They're going to send Freeze up top to deal with this. So Rezo can't even take advantage of the space that he is given. They're going to bring him back, grab this tower. They only lost the Aegis for it. Still a very good fight for VGJ, and they might even continue on with this because they know that there is...
Yeah, no Metamorphosis, so I'm not sure if Terrorblade can really challenge in this sort of base
Fade?
race. And Fade is actually going to be backing up just to make sure that Terrorblade has no opportunity to take that tier 3, but VGJ Thunder, seeing that effect are about to come up, not willing to take any risks here, feeling pretty comfortable with almost a 10,000 gold lead.
It's very well done. And they might even find more, the Tiny. Freeze looked for the jump for a second. He gave up on that so quickly on the Rezo kill. He might have just thought he went for the TP. It gets so chaotic in these engagements. But at the same time, like Freeze, oh, that's painful.
Yeah, if he had gotten that one, probably would have been.
That would have been Rax probably.
Yeah. Well, VGJ Thunder still have plenty of time. They've lost the Aegis, but they've gained a lot of map control and a rather sizable lead.
They do want to end the game, I think, with the second Aegis. You notice that Sadler's build, he's got the Aghanims queued up next. Want to start pressuring these towers before the Terrorblade gets too large.
I do like this gem pickup from Yang while we were having that conversation about the Furion and Terrorblade split pushing nonstop. You need to deal with the split push, but you also need to make sure that the enemy team doesn't have vision of you when you're dealing with the split push, right?
Yeah.
Like as your heroes start breaking apart, so that gem really limiting the vision of effect is helping VGJ Thunder not get caught out.
It makes it so your pushes are a lot stronger too, because oftentimes enemies will just like throw out wards to make sure that they can spot the retreat of VGJ.
Happening, Jeff finds Fade. Ooh, managed to get a 4-staff. It's a little bit far away. He's actually going to pop the BKB and commit for this kill, and thanks to a crit, will manage to get it. Oh no, a Fiend's Grip!
Freeze!
Freeze! What happened?
Freeze! Not like this.
Oh no! He's going to be forcing the buyback maybe. All right,
Nah,
maybe
he's
not
up to
him,
20.
not him. But maybe the Kunkka.
They're pinging. They want to go for the high ground as
Yeah?
they can bring the Nature's Prophet over at any moment. He doesn't have Nature's Call, but he does have the TP. And now, all of a sudden, effect. They're going to go for the high ground here.
And at least this tier 3 is going to fall. Siler's going to try and interrupt all this, though, with the Shivas. And now that Fade has fought back, and the Storm Spirit's about to be here. Effect got to get out of here. See how many heroes they can actually get out. King R completes his TP, so it's just Maiden who will get caught. That is actually fantastic for Effect.
Yeah. He was the only one without a TP up anyway.
Yeah.
Like, his TP was still on CD. So that's probably best case scenario. And if somebody deals with bottom lane, which then the Treants seem to already be doing so, you can't even punish this if you're VGJ. There's still a tier 2 up on the side of Effect for them to play with. This top tower, and now the shrines subsequently are opened. What a wild game, as Freeze's death proving to be pretty costly there. Slows down his momentum.
All right, Blitz. I'm feeling like after that, the game is kind of even up a little bit more because you were saying you like Effect with the later game Terrorblade. But VGJ Thunder still have 6k gold lead. They're still in pretty good control of the map. If you had to pick one side to be on right now, who would you choose?
Probably still VGJ.
Yeah. And why is that?
I think they'll have better control of this Roshan. The second Roshan is going to determine a lot. It's the cheese one for the Storm too.
But they don't have the greatest Roche taking potential themselves.
Yeah.
Like, the only reason they took it last time was because Effect pretty much served it up on a platter to him.
Effect's like, yo, let us lower this for you as low as possible, and then lose the team fight. If that would be okay with you, good sirs.
Is that an Aghanim Scepter about to be complete for Siler?
Yeah, he's pretty much got it.
Okay.
That's their okay guys, we have no high grounds.
Yeah, that'll
We realize
definitely
that.
help. It also helps with Roshan, right? So we've got the Eye of the Storm strike interval from level 20. So he's going to get a big boost, but he's going to put Burst Stroke up and a Resolution double damage. He's in big trouble, but there is going to be a Guardian Angel towards the back line. Freeze managed to interrupt and take down the Bane. Resolution forced into a BKB usage here, but doesn't have a TP to be able to get out of here, so he's just got to trek at the long haul. He does have FO Ninja coming in from behind, actually trying to get some kills here onto somebody. It looks like DDC is going to be the first to fall. Afterlife coming in with the epicenter still. A lot of BKBs are still out. What a great torrent setup. Resolution controlled up. Not really dealing a whole lot of damage to Freeze here. Managed to get off the Sunder on Yang, but there's just no good targets here. He has no damage. Resolution falls. Maiden's gonna die. I'm not sure if he even needed TP in at all there. 4 down from Effect. No buybacks either. And VGJ Thunder now in a fantastic position to maybe close out this game.
Yeah, you saw that Nature's Prophet. He came in the first time around, did nothing, then he just buys back and dies again.
Yep.
Like, this is the downside of taking straight up 5-on-5 fights with this hero, is that he doesn't, as a 4 position, he doesn't provide nearly as much as like, what Fade is doing. Like, how many times have we seen Fade just throw up 4-man Torrent, 2-man Ghost Ships over and over again in these engagements? Like, his Torrents have been so on point in this game.
Double damage lures Effect into a bad team fight.
Yeah. This Omni Knight has an Aghanims too now.
Yeah.
So there's no way to get around the Guardian Angel. You don't have any way to purge that with your current items on any of their heroes. No Nullifier. And with the Ags on the Razor, this is going to be a very easy set of racks, maybe even 2. As they know that there's no Metamorphosis on the Terrorblade. The Terrorblade popped it at the last second thinking, I've got to commit for this fight.
Look at that tower fall.
Afterlife doesn't even do any damage with his ult.
Yeah, every single time he comes in with Epicenter, it's nothing.
It's very underwhelming because of Yang's pipe.
Pipe, repel, BKBs.
People should really just buy pipe all the time against the Sand King. Makes it so easy for your team to play around.
Something that we always talked about, right, is that Epicenter was a pretty low damage ability anyway.
Yeah.
When you get one pipe out there, does nada.
And now you've got a Lincoln's on freeze. So there's nothing that stops him when he gets repelled.
Yeah,
they can't fight when the Guardian Angel and the Kunkka's Rum is up.
Unfortunately, there's no way for Effect to really force it out either.
Yeah. This is why I said I'd still prefer VGJ's lineup even with the Terrorblade.
Yeah.
Is VGJ can take a fight and Effect cannot.
VGJ Thunder, they may have not had the best go of it in qualifiers recently. They're probably a little bit worried about the start of this game against Effect, but they're looking good now in this best of 1 here at DAC. Torrent going out, not really landing on anything, neither is the boat. That's good enough for VGJ Thunder to be able to take 1 building and back out.
This Kunkka is currently level 21.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Like, Fade is a boss.
Get to that level 25 soon.
He's 5-1 and 18. Like, this guy, they have caught his Fade.
I would say that all right. You could do better.
No, it's good. It's good. People appreciate those. Sometimes the softballs. He's got the 100 torn AoE too. King R, just grip him. You know this is the real. This is the real threat.
And they are going to be able to find Fade, so maybe the real threat can actually set up a good team fight finally for
Effect.
They can't actually kill him. The Omni Knight's going to be able to save him now. Resolution has nothing to be able to control. The boat's coming in fast. He's going to be stomped on. Oh no, Afo Ninja, you pop your BKB, you teleport out all you want. It still doesn't change the fact that your main carry is dead for a full minute, and that leaves a free Roshan for VGJ Thunder.
Yeah, Fade does not go down without a fight. Yang even says, I'm going to pop the ulti just for you, buddy.
You are the true star. And he has been the bright part in VGJ Thunder's qualifier games, even if they have been losing in some of those later rounds of the qualifiers up against the tougher teams in China. It's still been Fade. And I would say Yang, who have been kind of the shining stars of the team. Now with an Aegis, as well as a Cheese.
Easy push.
Take the final tier 2, and that will quickly lead to a high ground push, which will find Mega Creeps and a must Effect. And somehow put a stop to it, despite the fact that they've lost every single team fight in this game.
Well, the one you win is the one that nobody expects.
Well, it's going to start off with a Torrent on Afro Ninja. He does have a BKB, but he may be controlled up a little bit too long. Never mind, status resistance, that's always a thing. But in the back line, they can't afford to lose their Bane. He's the primary control against the Storms here. Toss back into the fountain, but they have no control, so Freeze will be able to get away. That is another set. All they have is the bottom range tracks that is still alive, but VGJ Thunder are going for it now. And Effect are going to be forced into a defense here. They can't possibly stand up against Megas, but they also can't really seem to get an initiation in the back line. Mave's going to be stopped by Freeze, already taken out. Resolution tries to right-click him. Freeze just stands his ground. He's good on armor. He's going to be able to kill some of the weaker points here of Effect, taking down King R as well, and that'll be it. Effect, they go out with a whimper, lose 2 supports, 3 of their cores still alive. No, they can't actually stop VGJ Thunder from achieving Megas, so they just go ahead and call it.
Could not take a team fight is the story of this game.
Okay.
They, for the life of them, just like they couldn't take a fight at any point. I sort of like their lineup because you pick a greedier hero like Terrorblade, you have a greedier 4 position, so you take 2 cores that come with the disable. But aside from that, VGJ were on top of things. The Roshan decision, that was so well done by VGJ. They're just like, Sylar, buyback. I love it when cores buyback like that. It's like you reward aggressive play in Dota.
And it feels like that has been even more enabled recently with the buyback change, where these earlier buybacks are not quite as expensive, and they're also more rewarding due to the fact you no longer have a buyback penalty.
Yeah. Before, it was like in the past, if you saw a buyback like that, you're like, oh man, they think the game's over. This is a desperation buyback. But it's an aggressive buyback that just potentially opens up the game for them. So very well done by VGJ Thunder.
All right, well, VGJ Thunder, a little bit of rocky start there at the beginning of the game, but they recover marvelously, especially after a Roshan. So VGJ Thunder are going to keep moving forward in this group stage. Back to the panel.
Thank you very much. Yes, Captain Blitz, of course, so we'll be back with them for Game 2 very shortly, but let's break things down with our panel members once more. Lacoste, Winter, and Jack are all here to talk about Game 1. Jack, we'll start with you. Cap said at the end of that commentary they just about got over the line after a sticky start. It was a bit of a rough start for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, you can see that Effect. They wanted to play this very aggressively. They wanted to have those 4 move around other than Resolution and just be able to make space for him to farm and take towers. But a lot of the fundamentals of the game, I think, still Thunder handles a little bit better. Whether it comes to defending some of the towers, Kunkka is a hero that allows you to punish some of these bad tower pushes because he can hold someone in place until the TPs come in very easily with his skill set. So between that and the Roshan, the buying back again to contest the Rosh, I think Thunder handled a lot of the fundamentals very well this game, and that's how they managed to get back into it until Freeze was able to come online.
Bright start though, Lacoste, from Effect. It was exactly what we wanted to see from them.
Yeah, they're not just relying on Terrorblade this game, even though the problem for them was that Nature's Prophet was not a factor. Tiny had a good laning stage. I mean, Tiny is one of the better heroes in 1v1 scenarios. Against Storm Spirit, both of them farm, but Tiny comes online quickly, got that Shadow Blade up. This is the fight where they got, I think, full team wipe. Witch Doctor managed to actually go alive again. Again, the problem was that they did not have enough resources to control the Storm Spirit. There was a buyback from Sylar, as Blitz already mentioned. It doesn't affect you that much. Like, most of the time before you would think of it as a rage, but now you're able to fight again. Storm Spirit could do whatever he wants in these fights, and one of the problem again for Team Effect was that Storm Spirit, I think he picked up like 4 or 5 arcane runes plus regen a couple of times, which is the best rune you can get.
From 20 minutes on though, Winter, it was all one way, wasn't it really? Because it was again, I think during the commentary, Blitz said they just can't take a team fight right now, and they couldn't initiate anything.
Yep, they fell behind too much though. They lost a couple of like really crucial team fights. I felt like the Sand King made a few really bad mistakes in the game. He didn't use his Power Strike at a very important times in a few occasions, causing his team's chances in the combat. And Bane as well, like his warding and the way they played around with their vision. Plus he could have saved his core. Like the one push I think Jack was talking about earlier, where they push and they didn't have their supports ready. They were like, and Jack mentioned that you don't just push against a a Chinese team's tower because they're gonna just defend it and they weren't ready. A couple of like those very rash decisions that cost them a lot in the game.
I would call this a draft issue as well. Like you have a Bane hero that falls off, doesn't provide you too much during the mid game, especially if you don't do anything early on.
But Bane's supposed to do a lot in the earlier stages. I don't feel like he played the hero well. Like he had a few chances to maybe turn a fight around. Like when they were chasing his Tiny and he just like teleported away.
Yeah,
right beside the yeah, that was
they
like
could have turned.
I was looking at that situation. You are a position 5 player. Your core is getting jumped, and you have your ultimate. You have basically everything up. Your spells. You have full mana, and he was like, "See you, bye. I'm not gonna do anything for
I
you."
just want to say Lacoste's hatred of the Bane is well documented. I'm reminded of this now.
Well, there's a reason why he's not picked that anymore, and you have a Nature's Prophet, the hero that falls off as well if you don't do well at the early stages.
What would you have taken for instead of the Bane? What would you have given them?
But I don't know if Disruptor was in the pool. I mean, he's not the best in the tri-lane scenario, but still.
They picked the Bane, like I mentioned earlier, was because mostly you want to have like a disable that goes through repel, like something that can stun through BKB, like magic immunity.
He's in a lot of these games as a lane bully, right? So you can go and win the lane for someone else.
Yeah,
and skill in different ways.
I just feel like they didn't get enough like with their lineup. I mean, maybe their lineup has some weaknesses, but they do have a lot of issues with their play that comes first before you talk about adjusting their draft.
They needed to be hitting high ground, I think, a lot earlier. If everything plays out, if they're cleaner with some of the fights, some of the rotations made to defend towers, they want to be hitting high ground before the storm reaches that point.
They should be like winning like 2 lanes at least with the Furin, and then like getting a Roshan with the Medallion on the Prophet, and then hitting high ground like really early with the Aegis. Like they didn't even get the first Aegis, which is like an issue.
Yeah, but they have a good Roche defense. They have Storm Spirit. They have a lot of vision from Razor, from Kunkka as well. It's really hard to go Roche against this lineup.
Okay, scoreboard confirms what we have just been talking about. MVP wise. We've gone for Fade here on the Kunkka. 5-1-18. Decent enough game.
Sounds good enough to me. I mean, died once. He was pretty much all over the place. Every tower was defended. He was setting up those ganks. When Nature's Prophet tried I'm gonna call it a split push, even though it was not very effective. He was getting caught pretty much all the time, either by him or Storm Spirit.
Yep. Like, you don't split push against Kunkka and Storm as a Prophet. It's very difficult.
Okay. Apparently we've got an interview, so Jack's going to hopefully translate this for us, if you can. Are you good?
就好像没错了，然后就被你 A 死了。哦，那么这场比赛其实除了你以外，在前期的时候，两大哥都很凶。然后中期你们处理的就非常的好了。你们当时是怎么做的这个对战的这个讨论沟通的？
How did you guys talk about that?
大家都在想办法让他怎么飞嘛，就一直把他刷钱。
We talked about how to get the
我们也发现这场比赛刘畅吃了很多个这种什么恢复啊、奥数啊这种符。你们队伍里面一般谁运气比较好的就能看到这种符？是他吗？还是他今天运气比较爆棚一点？
今天我运气比较好，我出了个品一直去复联看，帮他看点双倍符跟恢复符。
哎，那如果这场比赛让你评个队内 MVP， 你觉得谁表现最好？多亏了谁才能赢？
肯定我啊
，Definitely me.
好，那非常感谢周海洋接受我们的采访，我们希望 VGJ 能够在接下来的比赛当中有更好的表现，谢谢。
Continue playing well going forward. Thank you.
What a humble guy.
Come on, I'd like a bit of bravado. You got to get a bit out there. Got to be a bit,
It's a joke, It's not quite said arrogantly, He's.
I'm kidding, Jack. You know me.
He's got a couple nicknames. One of them is Leather Shoes.
Leather Shoes.
I think he showed up at his first team interview or whatever with leather shoes, and so that just spread. But he's also known as like Classy Yang, but it's like a poking fun at him, Classy, in the sense that he actually flames a lot in pubs and he's quite the rager. So it's like way to show that class.
No way, Yang, a flamer.
Yeah,
no, you'd never guess that.
a legendary flamer, but in games he obviously cuts down on that, and he becomes a very important voice of direction for this team.
Okay, quick final thoughts, Lacoste, on a good opening from VGJ Thunder. You expect him to come through this group, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing VGJ Thunder is going to go really high in this tournament. I would say top 5, definitely. I've been a fan since Galaxy Battles. I just love the way they play. They're the classic Chinese play style. team with a lot of AoE team fight, even though this was a kind of a different pick from what they usually do.
Okay, can Effect get out of this group?
Tough one though.
It's tough, isn't it? Rezo played okay that
game, they played okay, they drafted okay, but not good enough.
Okay, we're going to see more of them in a little bit. We're going to move on. Next up, however, because our next match is just around the corner, it's SEA in action, so that will please Winter. Mineski going head-to-head with South America's finest, of course, Pain Gaming. No South Africans here. I've just got it on the brain. I'm just trying to get them in at some point. We're trying to get them some qualifiers to get them in to some of these majors and minors. Anyway, as I said, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back at DAC 2018.